Hello, YouTube divers. This is Water Dive 122, and I want to welcome you all to another episode of Magic Metal Mondays. Today, we are going to be tackling one of the bands that I've wanted to rank on this channel for quite some time. Today, we are going to be ranking all 12 albums from Swedish power metal legends HammerFall. And like I said, HammerFall was a band that I've wanted to do for quite a while. And so I finally decided to sit down and listen to all 12 of the records, and I have my list ready to go. So before we get into it, of course, just remember this list is my opinion, and I say that because this list might trigger some HammerFall fans here and there. And these guys haven't really made a terrible record. Like, none of their albums are absolutely abysmal, in my opinion. There's just some that are weaker than the rest. Like, some that just don't stand out above the rest, if that makes sense. But all these records have at least a couple of songs that I really do enjoy. So with that said, enough housekeeping. Let's jump right into the list. Coming in at the bottom, at number 12, we've got the 2016 album, Built to Last. Now, this was kind of a weird record for HammerFall, because HammerFall as a band, in my opinion, were kind of in a weird spot. Like, every album that they've made from Infected to this point is just, they're good records, but they just kind of use recycled riffs, and and really there's nothing too new on the records. Like, there's nothing really that stands out like above the, like, as a whole in their catalog. But these records do have some really, really killer songs. And for me, Built to Last kind of was the bottom point of this era. Like, the band was kind of on a downward, it's kind of like on a downward trend of just, falling into that power metal cliche that drives a lot of metalheads away from the genre. Recycled riffs, very repetitive hooks, over the top kind of vocal lines, and very cheesy lyrics and melodies and storytelling. It kind of just falls into that category, and in my opinion, Built to Last probably does it the worst, even though it's not a bad record. There are some really killer songs on here. Hammer High is really good. Bring It is a really, really rockin' song. Stormbreaker is a pretty cool song. The title track's pretty nice. But my favorite song on this record easily has to go to the ballad on this album, the Twilight Princess. Easily one of my favorite songs from HammerFall, like probably in my top 15. And, where HammerFall really shines is on their ballads. HammerFall has some really, really strong ballads, and as we get further on into the list, you're going to kind of get the gist of it. But Twilight Princess is easily one of their best ballads, and in my opinion, one of their best songs. But yeah, just the repetitiveness and the use of recycled riffs and hooks and melodies, and how cheesy some of the songs are, is the main reason why this is my least favorite HammerFall album. Alright, moving on to number 11, we got the 2019 album Dominion. Now, this album has a lot of the same problems that Built to Last has, but in my opinion, I feel like it does it a little bit better than Built to Last. The songs on this album are stronger than Built to Last. Like, the title track is a really cool song. Testify is a really, really catchy song. We Make Sweden Rock is probably one of the band's most rebellious cuts. Dead by Dawn, and my favorite, Dead by Dawn's a really nice song. And my favorite song on this album has to go to Chain of Command. I absolutely love this song. And like with Twilight Princess, I really feel like that Chain of Command is, again, another one of my favorite HammerFall tracks. I just absolutely love that song. It's fantastic. But outside of that, there's really nothing else I can say about Dominion. It's a fine record. It exists. But the main reason why I put it above Built to Last is because of those 5 tracks, and I feel like that the power metal cliches were handled a little bit better on this album than they were on Built to Last. So it ends up here at number 11. Number 10, this one might give me some controversy. We're talking about the 2000 album, Renegade. This is their third record, and really, in my opinion, I consider HammerFall's early era to be their best period. But this record kind of feels like their modern output, but with the early HammerFall spice on it. This record is not bad. There are some really cool songs on here. I mean, it has one of my favorite HammerFall songs of all time, Always Will Be. I absolutely love that song. The title track is pretty cool, but it's kind of cheesy here and there, especially in the chorus. Templars of Steel is pretty cool. Keep the Flame Burning is pretty cool. And The Way of the Warrior, again, another kind of corny song, but I like it. But really, outside of those, I don't really feel like there's a lot of memorable songs on here. And in my opinion, while Built to Last and Dominion, in my opinion, I didn't like as much as Renegade, Renegade is, in my opinion, their most forgettable record. This album is just very forgettable. Like, outside of those 5 songs, I can't remember a single thing off this record. But it at least has the benefit of having Always Will Be, which is just a beautiful song. I absolutely love it. Alright, moving on to number 9. We've got Chapter 5, Unbent, Unbowed, Unbroken from 2005. It's the same thing. It's the same complaints I have with Renegade. There are some really cool songs on this record, but overall, it's just very forgettable. Hammer of Justice is a really nice song. Imperial's a good instrumental. Fury of the Wild is awesome. Bloodbound has one of my favorite HammerFall riffs. And then Knights of the 21st Century. This one, I really like the song, but it is way too long. It does not need to be 12 and a half minutes long. It's I mean, the very beginning and the very end, you don't need that extended period of sound effects, especially in the beginning half of the song. Like, when I listen to an epic song from Rush, or from Yes, or from Dream Theater, or from Halloween, or from any other band, they really deserve, those songs really deserve to be that long, because it's memorable. I can actually sing along to them, and it's not really too complicated. But with this song, with Knights of the 21st Century, it is just bananas. And I mean that in the absolute best way possible. I don't think it's as strong of an epic as like what Rush, Yes, or Dream Theater or Halloween have done with their epic songs. But as a song all by itself, it's a really good song. I just wish it was a little bit shorter. So, yeah, outside of those 5 songs, this album just kind of feels a little bit flat for me. Number 8, we've got the 2014 album Revolution. Again, same kind of cliches that we've had with the records that I've talked about before, but in my opinion, this album has some stronger songs. Winter is Coming, in particular, is another one of my favorite HammerFall ballads. Hector's Hymn, the title track, and Bushido, the first 3 songs off the album open it up in an absolutely amazing way. And then the second side of the album feels really, really forgettable outside of Origins and Evil Incarnate. It just makes for a very disjointed listen that, the first side is really strong, the second side outside of those 2 songs, Origins and Evil Incarnate, just are very forgettable. So with that said, Revolution coming in at number 8. Number 7, we have the 2011 album Infected. Now, this album is in my opinion, probably the best record from HammerFall's output if you don't count the previous album, No Sacrifice, No Victory. It just kind of feels like this is the beginning of HammerFall's trend of using recycled riffs and using repetitive hooks and, blah, 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 blah. All the stuff that I talked about. Basically the stuff that modifies that defines modern HammerFall for me, at least. But there's still some really great tracks on here. There's Patient Zero, which is one of my favorite HammerFall songs. BYH is also really good. One More Time is pretty cool. I Refuse is a great one. And Send Me a Sign, I love that song. Another one of my favorite HammerFall tracks. Let's Get It On is also a really fun song. This album has its high points, but overall, it's just kind of whatever for me. So with that said, Infected coming in at number 7. Number 6, we're going to be talking about their most recent album, Hammer of Dawn, from 2022, last year. Um, this is, in my opinion, a really, 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 really amazing record. Now this, finally, a modern HammerFall album that doesn't fall into the same tropes that the previous albums fell into. Like, there's actually some new ideas on this album. There's actually some really amazing hooks and some more creativity and effort put into this album. The title track has a really, really nice atmosphere to it. Penetrate Me is amazing. Not Today is another really fantastic ballad. Brotherhood opens up the record with a banger. Too Old to Die Young is also really amazing as well. And my favorite song on here has to go to Reveries. Reveries is, in my opinion, one of the catchiest HammerFall songs you'll ever hear. Hammer of Dawn, overall, a really great record. And, it's just an amazing record. What more can I say? So, yeah, Hammer of the Dawn coming in here at number 6. Number 5, we've got the 2009 album, No Sacrifice, No Victory. If we don't take Infected or Hammer of the Dawn into consideration, this record, in my opinion, is easily the best out of HammerFall's modern output. It's got one of their most classic songs, Bring the Hammer Down, which, in my opinion, is a fantastic killer song. The title track's also great. Any Means Necessary is a really fun one. The two ballads on here, Life Is Now, In Between Two Worlds, both of them are great. And Something for the Ages is also a fantastic song too. This album is just banger after banger after banger. It's just an amazing record. What more can I say? Alright, now the top 4. These are easily my favorite HammerFall records, and these are records that I will come back to time and time again. So number 4, we've got the 1998 album, The Legacy of Kings. Absolutely love this record. This is their second album, and, obviously it's one of the strongest. This is what I love about this era of HammerFall. Because, you've got the, cliches here and there sprinkled in, but they're very memorable. And, that's, in my opinion, what a power metal album should hold. Lots of memorability. Let the Hammer Fall, another one of their most classic songs. Heeding the Call is also really cool. The title track's awesome. Warriors of the Faith is also a nice song. The Fallen One and Stronger Than All is really great. And my favorite song on here has to easily go to the ballad Remember Yesterday. A top 5 song from HammerFall for me. I absolutely love this track, and in my opinion, it's easily their best ballad. It's everything about that song is just perfect. I love the clean guitar work. I love the slow pace to it. I love the vocals from Joachim Cams. I hope I am pronouncing that right. I am so sorry. It's just a killer song. Absolutely love it. Now, moving on to number 3, we've got Glory to the Brave, their debut record from 1997. Easily, in my opinion, one of the best heavy metal debut records I have ever heard. I absolutely love this record. I knew this was going to be one of my favorites because I was actually familiar with the opening track, The Dragon Lies Bleeding. This was my introduction to HammerFall, and yeah, for that reason, it's my favorite HammerFall song. I absolutely love The Dragon Lies Bleeding. But there are some other great tracks on this record as well. HammerFall is really awesome. I Believe is a banger. Stone Cold is a really good song. Unchained is fantastic. And the title track, Glory to the Brave, again, HammerFall doing HammerFall ballads. Just amazing. it's a ballad from HammerFall. What more can you expect? So with that said, Glory to the Brave coming in here at number 3. Number 2, we've got the 2006 album Threshold. This one might be a little bit controversial because I see a lot of HammerFall fans hold this like in the middle tier of the list. I don't get that at all. This album is, in my opinion, just power metal done absolutely amazingly. Like, it was executed masterfully. Every song on this album is just so good. Every song on this album. But my favorites are the title track Threshold, Titan, Howlin' with the Pack, The Fire Burns Forever, Natural High, Dark Wings, Dark Words, and Shadow Empire. All of those songs are just bangers. And, it's just a flawless record from start to finish. Even the tracks I didn't mention, I like them. This album is just a masterpiece. I love this. But it's not my favorite HammerFall record. That brings us to number 1, Process of Elimination. If you're a HammerFall fan or a power metal fan in general, you know what is my favorite album from HammerFall. And again, this is one of my favorite power metal records of all time. This one's a classic power metal album for a reason. We're talking about the 2002 album Crimson Thunder. What an album. What can I say? There is a reason why this album is held in such high regards when it comes to the power metal scene. I mean, this has HammerFall's best songs, arguably. This has their most recognizable songs. This is easily their most influential, their most successful album, and their most recognizable record. This is also HammerFall at their most confident, at their most amazing, and their most bad to the bone. I mean, Riders of the Storm and the title track Crimson Thunder and Hearts on Fire, 3 extremely overplayed songs in the power metal scene, but they deserve it. They're all fantastic songs, especially the title track with that super dark, ominous type of atmosphere. Dreams Come True is another good ballad. Rising Force is amazing. Hero's Return is a beautiful song. Angel of Mercy is, in my opinion, one of their most underappreciated songs. And Trailblazers is another bona fide banger. Every song on Crimson Thunder is just absolutely fantastic. Another masterpiece and a flawless record. Alright, so with that said, that concludes this edition of Magic Metal Mondays. Thank you so much for watching, my fellow YouTube divers. This is WaterDive122 signing out, ready to dive into more fun on YouTube. Thank you for watching.